What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night, Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige breakdown predictions. Like and subscribe to these videos and a bunch of my other videos too, guys, and check out my Patreon account because I will be dropping the face-off predictions over there, plus other wins and other combination plays. So check out my Patreon account. I'll leave the link down below. Let's jump into this. We got 12 fights in this card. Pretty decent card. Like I said, I'm always coming with a positive mindset. You know, no negativity here on this channel. So all these guys, if they're here, then they're meant to be there. Okay, it's a tough sport, a dangerous sport to be in. So your health is your wealth, man. So these guys put their health on the line. All right. First fight here, we got Lara Porcopo. Porcopo, I mispronounced that big time, versus Casey O'Neill. Also, I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these names, guys. All right. So Lara here, BJJ black belt, right? She will look for the submissions. Let me see. She will walk into shots though. Her striking it's coming along. You know, she's still working on it, but she does walk into shots. She don't take her head off center line. Like I said, she will pressure you, walk you down. She will let her hands go. Like I said, she'll mix up the punches with the kicks, and she will look for takedowns, right? She is well-rounded and she's durable. Like I said, you know, eating shots isn't a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Being durable is, you know, is good, but your face, your head is not meant to get hit like that. You understand what I'm saying? You have a brain there, you get brain damage, right? So you want to move that head off center line, move your feet. If you're not going to move your feet, at least move your head. And if you're not going to move your head, move your feet. Okay? Keep you out of danger. Move in and move out. So Lara Martinez her BJJ black belt there, right? Her opponent here, Casey O'Neill, she has a 2-inch reach and a 2-inch height. She's a little bit taller here coming in. BJJ proper belt. Her striking is kind of straightforward. Kind of similar to Lara striking in a kind of way. Lara has more power though, from my opinion, and like more power in her punches and kicks. And I feel like Lara has more experience, especially on the ground. But again, anything is possible, right? So not because Lara's a black belt, that doesn't mean that Casey can't submit her. Anything is possible. All depends on the person, right? Belts is just to hold your pants up, okay? So for this one here, man, I'm going to push towards Lara, but this is a fight where it's a risky one, and I'm not confident in this fight at all. So be very careful with it. Like I said, Lara's more experienced. You know, she fought. She's been in the UFC for a little bit longer. She fought Erosa, Molly McCann. I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? At least she has a little bit more experience than Casey does. And you know, Casey is undefeated. She's kind of new to the professional leagues. Started in 2019. Has a little bit of amateur background here too. And like I said, she will look for the submissions, and she kind of straightforward, kind of similar. Both of these women are kind of similar in a kind of way. So in my opinion, I feel like this is an even fight. So I'll be very, very careful with it. But I like Lara for the win. And I'm going to say Lara by submission, guys. All right. Next fight here, we got Silva versus Rick Glenn. Joaquim Silva versus Rick Glenn. Silva here is a BJJ black belt also. Muay Thai striking base. He's pretty well rounded, but he hasn't fought since 2019. Am I right about that? He hasn't fought since 2019, right? He will kind of gas out in the later rounds, but he throws heavy, and sometimes he wind up on his punches. Them like he would throw overhand and miss, right? His opponent here, Glenn, Ricky Glenn. He's a BJJ brown belt, hasn't fought since 2018, right? He's going to have a 4-inch of height and an inch of reach. He fought one time at 155 though, and at 155 he actually lost to Evan Donner. So he's going to move back up from 145 to 155, okay? So he only fought 155 one time and he lost. Joaquim Silva fights at 155, so that's something to look at too. Okay, Glenn may be a little quicker at the movement. He has like a herky-jerky kind of style, you know, head rock back and forward. You know, striking is kind of, like I said, herky-jerky. Is just kind of everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of unorthodox kind of way. But his head is straight up though, and he can eat a lot of shots when he's coming in. Like I said, takes a lot of damage. I'm reading from the notes here. Like I said, it doesn't move his head off center line. Okay, so I mean, coming back to from 145 up to 155, first time I've been fought since 218. I mean, I'm gonna go with Silva here, but again, I'm not confident in this one because Rick Glenn, you know, he will surprise you, man, at times. So. Like majority of the cards here, right? But I'm gonna go with Joaquim Silva, and I'm gonna say Joaquim Silva by decision, guys. All right. Next fight here, we have Josh Parisian versus Roque Martinez. Okay, so we got Josh here. He's gonna have a 6 inch of height and a 7 inch of reach. That alone, man. That alone should win him the fight. That alone should win him the fight. 6 inch of height and 7 inch of reach. He's a big guy. He's a heavyweight guy. He throws a lot of spinning techniques. For being a heavyweight, he throws tons of spinning stuff. Back fist, spinning back kicks. But he's hittable though, and he will gas out, right? Majority of his fights though are usually finished in the first round. If you notice here, right? Majority of his fights is all first round and second round finishes, right? Like I said, he will gas out, but I mean, he's coming in here with a 6 inch height and 7 inch reach. That automatically should win him the fight, right? His opponent here, Martinez, yeah, I mean, he's heavy-handed, but he can get taken down though and controlled on the ground. To me, I mean, like I said, I don't. You know, I'm not here to disrespect any of these fighters. They all belong here. If they're here, then they belong there, right? And like I said, they put their health and the wealth. But he comes in heavy sometimes, this guy, and he doesn't look too much in shape to me. But I mean, he wins fights here and there. So I mean, he must be know something that I don't know. But like I said, sometimes he doesn't look too much in shape, and it looks like it affected him in the fight, especially in later rounds. You know what I'm saying? He can get taken down. You know, you can tell that he's gassing out in, you know, in some of the rounds. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. He's gonna 5'10", 72 inch reach. I mean, Josh is gonna have a 6 inch height and 7 inch reach. So, I mean, anything's possible in this game here. I mean, Martinez could just land an overhand, but the guy with the reach and the height, I'm going to have to push more towards that person there. All right, so I'm going to go more towards Josh here. And I'm going to say Josh by KOTQ, guys. All right. Next fight here. We have Matt Semelsberger versus Khaos Williams. This one is a toss-up. And it's a very risky one because we have Khaos Williams here, who's known for knocking out everybody, and his wins are usually in the first round, and we don't really see much of him except for when he fought Michael Pereira and he lost. We can see that he can get taken down. If he doesn't finish in the first round, then he has nothing else to lay back on. So this is a fight here. We're looking at Matt here. Matt is, in my opinion, is more well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? He has a wrestling base. He can take this fight to the ground, and his striking is not bad. So Matt is a more well-rounded guy here. But the only thing about this fight, which I'm going to read from my notes here, Matt here switches his stance. He has footwork, and but he's in the range though. He has footwork, but he's in the range, meaning that he's in the range of Khaos Williams' punches. The reason I'm saying that because even though he has footwork, he will get flat at times. So he will get flat and just sit there in front of you, right? If that's the case, we're talking about power versus power now. I feel Khaos Williams is the heavier hitter here. So if Matt sits in front of him like that, you know, it doesn't take much for Khaos Williams to land a shot. And We see Matt sometimes he does eat shots. Sometimes head don't move off center line either. But he does move his foot and he moves around at times, but he gets flat-footed. Wrestling base, striking is okay. Mix up the kicks with the punches then. And he has punching power, man. And he's well-rounded. But again, if he's not going to be moving around in this fight consistently, he may give Khaos Williams the edge, because then he's going to be in the range of Khaos Williams' punches. If he's going to do MMA now and go for takedowns, then that's different. If he's going to game plan him, use his striking instead of the takedowns, then Matt will win the fight. So it's all dependent on the game planning in this fight, right? Williams here, he's a heavy hitter. Like you see, he has power. You know, his couple fights here against Abdul and Alex Morono, you know, finish the fight in the first round like majority of his fights. But like I said, if he can't finish a fight in the first round, he has the cardio to keep going, but he just keep hunting the head, like overhands, 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 overhand. He's just trying to head hunt, and he's looking for that knockout. So he keep that power all the way to the fight, but he just keep head hunting. But if you're fighting a guy like Michael Pereira, he's gonna be moving around. That's why he's unable to beat him. Abdul sat right in front of him. Alex Morono sit right in front of him. Anybody that's gonna sit in front of this guy, and if he connects to you, you may go down. That's why I say with Matt, he does move around, but sometimes he tends to sit in front of you, right? He switches stance, you know, Matt switches stance and stuff like that, but he tends to sit in front of you. That's something that I notice. Khaos Williams, he can get taken down, and we see that in the Matt, we saw it in the Michael Pereira fight, right? But he does get back up, but he can get taken down, but he has never been finished though. And he's pretty quick at the movement, man. His speed. Well, I wouldn't say his movement, his punches. He does get flat-footed too, but he wants to fight that kind of fight, whereas like a phone boat fight, because he packed the power. So anybody that's gonna be phone boating with him may get knocked out. I'm not saying that Matt can't knock him out, because you know your chin not meant to get a hit. Anything is possible. Matt can actually knock out Williams too. Anything is possible. Matt can also take down Williams. I feel Matt is more well-rounded, but it's just the kind of fight, you know, smaller cage, and Matt at times sit in front of you. so he basically is gonna give Williams an opportunity to maybe land that shot. That's why it's a risky one, because you don't know the game plan that Matt's gonna come in here with. Is he gonna keep going for takedown? He could do that and he could guess himself out. Also, if you notice his last fight here, when he fought Carlton Manos, that fight went to decision. And if you notice the last round with Carlton was kind of coming back in that fight. Even though it was a third round, but Carlton was landing some shots in him. And I think there was a time where he landed a shot and kind of got him a little bit, but then he went for takedown. And that's why I say the Matt is a little more well-rounded guy, man. And Carlton is a guy that, you know, he hasn't won anything in UFC yet. Basically, he's back-to-back losses. So, for this one here, man, this is a tough one to pick and it's a risky one. I do feel that Matt can win this fight. If you look at Matt here, I think he's been knocked out one time and submitted, I believe. Yeah, he's been knocked out and submitted. Khaos Williams has never been finished before. So, I mean, if Matt is not going to move his foot consistently, he has to use footwork. If he doesn't use footwork consistently and use his striking to set up takedowns, he could get caught by a punch and get knocked out. It's possible. But I'm going to go with Khaos Williams, and this is a fight where I'm not confident in as a risky one. And like I said, sign up to my Patreon account because I'll be making different plays. And definitely I will have Matt in a play. So sign up to my Patreon account. I have tons of different plays, especially the face-offs, which is very important. Like I say, the face-offs will show everything. Will show the person make weight, show the body language. You know what I'm saying? You can see it in the eyes though. You can see the height and reach of the person. There's a lot to see from the face-off and the weigh-ins, man. Especially if they make weight or not. Right? So, yeah, for this one here, I'm going to go with Williams. But, like I said, on my Patreon account, most likely it's going to be Matt, because I'm going to do changes because some of these fights, man, are very close. This entire card is a very close card, meaning the fighters, everything here should be even, basically. All the fights in this card should be even. All right, but I'm gonna go with Khaos Williams. I'm gonna say Khaos Williams by KO TKO, and it's a damn risky one. And if Matt wins, I will not be surprised because he's more well rounded. But it all depends on the game plan and if he's gonna sit in front of Khaos Williams and then strike it out. Again, Matt could surprise you and catch him and knock out Khaos Williams. It's possible. Anything is possible in this game, man. Next fight here, we got Virna Jandiroba versus Kanako Murata. Verna here is a BJJ black belt with some judo. Her striking is still in the works. Striking defense too, still in the works. She can eat shots, but she has 13 by submission. So all her fights are basically just by submission, right? She had a submission in 2020 and 2019, which is obviously recent against Felicia Ring and Malora Martin. She can get taken down because she doesn't mind because of her BJJ, right? But she will look for sweeps, reversals, scrambles, and she's gonna have a 2 inch of height and 2 inch of reach here. Okay. Her opponent here, Murata, strong wrestling base, man. She's quick. Uses her striking to set up her wrestling. Basically, she will look for takedowns and grind. So this fight here, man, striking wise, Virna gonna have the height and the reach. 2 inches makes a big difference. An inch make a big difference. Murata striking is quick. She's gonna be the quicker fighter here, but she's gonna try to take this fight to the ground, obviously. But then that shouldn't be a good game plan. She probably should keep this fight standing up. But her base is her wrestling. Her striking is not her main thing. So this is gonna be a tough one, right? This is gonna be a tough one. And she got submitted way back here by Nicolae. Rear naked choke. I think that's her only loss. Coming from Invicta on Reason. I'm gonna push towards Virna for this one. Because I mean, she's gonna wrestle, strong wrestling base. Most likely she may get Virna to the ground. It all depends on what Virna does with it though, which BJJ black belt. I mean, she's good off her back. She can sweep, she can scramble too. It's not like Virna doesn't know how to wrestle either. But Murata is a stronger wrestler here. But then the submission game plays a factor in this. So I'll push towards Virna for the win here, but this is the next risky one here, man. Because, like I said, these fights are even. This is a tough card. I'm gonna go with Virna for the win. I'm gonna say Virna by submission, and I'm not confident, guys. All right. Next fight here, we got Negumereanu versus Aleksei Camur. Nick here seems pretty well rounded, man. He will look for the submission. Striking can get wild at times. He can get taken down. His footwork is kind of flat, but he will push forward and he's very aggressive, right? He will look for sweeps. He will look for throws, and I feel like mentally he could be more mentally on than Aleksa, right? His fight against Spivak here, he didn't look the same. If you watch his other fights, he's doing like suplexes, sweeps. He's very aggressive coming forward. In the Spivak fight here, he didn't show none of that. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he's the UFC jitters. But if you look at his record here, you know, I mean, he hasn't really fought nobody. And, you know, I mean, the 12 and 41, yeah, I mean, those are losses and wins, but still, you know, the records are kind of 2-15, 10 and 13, right? This is the next tough fight here, guys, too, man. Aleksa here, or Camur, what do you want to call it? Camur. I feel it's more technical on the foot in a kind of way. You know, using the jab set up the straight, use the punches set up the kicks. I feel like he's gonna have the better movement here, and slightly the better record in a kind of way, right? It was in the Contender Series, beat Justice Ledet, lost to William Knight though, right? His majority of his fights though are all by KO TKO, and usually all in the first round. So if you check him out here, I believe his only loss there was by a decision. So majority of all his fights, or all his fights, were basically all by knockout. Yep, there was none by submission. I believe Nick is a mixture, 6 KO, 3 by submission, right? Never been finished. This one is a tough one, guys. This is gonna come down to mental. And when I look at Aleksa here, I feel like, even look at him when he fought Knight, he break under pressure. Once he hit that second round, he start to break under pressure. If Nick fights the way how he usually fights, I can see Nick winning. And he fought Spivak, which Spivak is not a, you know what I'm saying, he's not a can. The guy's a pretty good fighter, man. And compare Spivak to Knight, I feel Spivak is a better fighter than Knight, in my opinion, just by technicality, skills wise, right? And Aleksa has a hard time with Knight, so I'm a push towards Nick here for the win. Again, I'm not confident in this one at all, guys. Like I said, this card is tough, and a lot of the fights are even. And I'm gonna say Nick by I'm gonna say Nick by KO TQ, guys. All right, risky fight. Next fight here, we got Dhiego Lima versus Matt Brown. So next risky one too, man. Oh man. Lima here, BJJ black belt. Has defense, his takedown defense, I should say, has gotten better. Right, before in his earlier fights, he was getting taken down back to back. Now he's been working on his defense, and it's hard to take him down now. So he's pretty well rounded. Throws heavy leg kicks like his brother, Douglas, and he's gonna have the speed advantage in this fight, but he does get hit with shots, and he can get hurt in the fight. Right, Matt Brown here, he's a veteran. He's a very well-rounded guy, but he's not durable though. He can get hurt too, and especially to his legs. His calf, his feet, or his lower part of his legs are shot. You land a couple of kicks to those legs, his legs gonna be destroyed. And Lima throw heavy leg kicks. He has 14 by KO, been submitted 13 times though, and like I said, with Matt Brown, he can get hurt, especially to his body. Right, Dhiego Lima can get hurt too. I believe he's been finished 4 times. This is a tough one here. Skill-wise and technicality-wise, experience-wise, Matt Brown is a better fighter, but the durability, his legs can't take those kicks, man, and his body can't take no shots either. So if Dhiego Lima breaks him down from the bottom, from the calf, then Matt Brown will fade. He won't be able to fight because his legs will be gone. But at the same time, if Matt Brown pressures forward and start landing shots in Lima, he could take him out because Lima like to rest against the cage a lot. Right? He looks for you to come to him so he can counter shots on you. This is the next tough one here. I can see Matt Brown pulling off a win here. But it's just the durability, man, and leg kicks from Lima. And just other things too, you know, just the body shots. I mean, Matt Brown takes a lot of damage in his fights, man. But I mean, he's still in there though. So, and Lima takes a lot of damage too. But like I said, guys, check out my Patreon account. I may do some changes, especially in the face-off. But I'm gonna go with Lima here for the win though. But I'm not confident in this one because I can see Matt Brown pulling off the win if he's able to avoid the leg kicks. If he can avoid those leg kicks, I can see him pulling off the win here. Alright, so I'm going to go with Dhiego Lima for the win. I'm going to say Dhiego Lima by KO TQ, guys. Alright, we got Wellington Turman versus Bruno Silva. Turman here. He's a pretty well-rounded guy, BJJ black belt. He would look for sweeps and throws, heavy striking, but he can get controlled though against the cage, right? He has to make this fight an MMA fight with Silva, right? At times he does get flat-footed and he has no bounce to his feet, so he's a guy that kind of like sits in front of you. So a fighter like Silva, he's a heavy striker. He's heavy-handed, right? And I don't think Turman hit as hard as Silva. And we saw Turman in his last fight, he got finished by Andre Sanchez by KO. And Bruno hits hard. He's a heavy hitter, man. He has 16 by KO. 0 submissions, but been submitted 5 times. So if Turman makes this fight an MMA fight, it's going to be in his favor. It's going to be in Turman's favor because he can use his striking, set up the takedowns, and Silva can get taken down. BJJ brown belt. He hasn't fought since 2018 though, right? His last fight was against a guy named Artur Roval, and he hasn't fought since 2018. He was on the Tough Brazil season 3, which he lost that fight, I believe. Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, I think he lost that fight. Yep, against Vitor Murata. Both guys here kind of wind up on their punches and look for big overhand shots. You know, but if you connect, it's light out. But I feel Bruno, you know, is a heavier hitter though. But he has 5 losses by submission. So a couple of these fights I see on this card, if the guys play the right game planning and go in there with an MMA mindset, they can pull the fight off. You know what I'm saying? They have to go in there and kind of like game plan everything and use your striking to look for takedowns and look for the submission, because if he goes toe to toe with Silva, you know, most likely he may get knocked out. Because, and plus he got knocked out in his last fight, which was, I think it was this year, it was last year, it was in 2020, right? So for this one here, man, I mean, the cage is going to be smaller. Silva making his debut. I'm going to have to go with Turman for this, but I'm not confident. But with Silva, I see him get taken down though. He can get taken down in this fight. So once he starts getting taken down, he's flat in his back and you can submit him. If Turman is able to move around, pick his shots, look for takedowns, put him against the cage and avoid the power, then he can win the fight. So I told you, man, this entire card is even and it's a tough one to predict. A tough one to break down too. I'm going to go with Turman for the win. And I'm going to say Turman by submission, guys. Not confident at all. All right. Next fight here, we got Julian Erosa versus Seung Choi. Erosa here is going to be the more well-rounded guy, man. I would say it's kind of like a veteran, kind of. I mean, he's been in the sport for a while. He was in the UFC way back in Ultimate Fighter 22. Yeah, it was way back there. Yeah, been in the UFC for a little bit. Yeah, it's like he came to the UFC, didn't do too well, left, came back, left, went to the Contender Series, won and came back, and now he's on a 3-fight winning streak. But with Rosa, man, he's been improving, man, and you know what I'm saying, he's looking good. Juicy J, right? Again, this is our next fight too. If he makes this fight an MMA fight, he can pull the win off. He's a more experienced guy here. He can take this fight anywhere. He can take this fight to the ground, or he can stand up against his opponent here, Choi. I would advise him to take this fight to the ground, because Choi is, you know, his striking is decent. You know what I'm saying? He's pinpoint accurate and he's quick. He's quick at the movement, quick at the footwork. His jab straight on the pocket is nice, right? But he can get taken down though. He's going to have the speed advantage though, but he can get taken down. If you see here against Gavin Tucker and Mozart, he got taken down consistently. But then Efforlov is a different kind of fighter though. You know what I'm saying? His wrestling is the strongest point of him. But Gavin Tucker BJJ black belt and he was taking him down, and then Gavin Tucker even submitted him. So if Julian Erosa come into this fight and come with that same MMA game set, that same mindset of using striking, look for takedowns, he can pull the fight off. Because we see with Julian Erosa, doesn't handle a hit too well. Like I said, your face not meant to get a hit. Your head is not meant to get a hit, man. Your brain is there. Your chin, you get connected. Send a signal to your brain, everything locks off. And you go down. And that's it. So Julian Erosa has been knocked out a couple of times. 4 times, actually. And I think Choi been knocked out 1 time and submitted. So this is a close fight again, guys. It all depends on the person, man, and the game plan they come in here with. You know what I'm saying? If they leave the ego aside, come in there and say, okay, I'm just gonna use a striking for takedown, he'll win the fight. But if he comes in there and try to go toe to toe, I'm not saying he can't win with the striking because he's very experienced. Because we've seen that he pulled off a couple wins with striking. You know what I'm saying? This Nate guy here, flying knee. And then he put off most of his submissions though. So I'm saying, if you come in here, he's a very well-rounded guy. He went toe-to-toe with Devonta Smith, but that was at 155. That's not his weight class. And then he went toe-to-toe with Julio Harris, and then he got head kick knockout. So if he game plan himself, he can pull this win off. So my push towards Erosa for this one. This is the next tough one, guys. I'm not confident in this one, but I must say Julia Erosa by Juicy J by submissions. All right. Next fight here is a rematch. We got Marlon Vera versus Davey Grant. The first fight, Marlon Vera lost the fight by unanimous decision. Grant won it, right? We know Marlon Vera is a slow starter. Sometimes it may start faster, but majority of the time it's a slow starter, and he's low volume. Sometimes he doesn't do much, right? He's very well-rounded though, BJJ black belt. He fought Grant here back in 2016. He's very durable. Hasn't lost by submission or knockout. There's all decision losses. A lot of times he would cover up though, kind of shell up, then eat some shots, then come forward. So he has a tendency of just covering up with his hands and just taking the shots in the glove, right? And we know that those gloves are kind of small. So even though you're taking shots to the elbows and the little tiny gloves, you're still getting hit in the head. It's still penetrating, right? Like I said, Grant beat him the first time. And if you look at his record here, he lost to Jose Aldo. Sean O'Malley kicked out his legs and put him down and ground and pound him and finish him in that fight, which is a good win for him. Seung here, I felt that Chito Vera won that fight. I feel that was a robbery, right? And the other fights here, Andre Ewell and these. I mean, after he had his loss against Grant, he had a lot of fights because Grant been injured and haven't been fighting. But Grant came back and he's been looking good, man. He's on a 3-fight winning streak now. He's very well rounded, but he got submitted 4 times though. So this is a guy that can get submitted but never got knocked out. He's looking good at the moment right now. 3-fight winning streak, like I mentioned. And I feel like he's going to be a hungrier fighter here. Because you can tell in his fights, man, at least the recent ones, you know, he comes in there. And even the Martin Day and Jonathan Martinez, he got knocked down in that fight. But then he made adjustments and then went back and knocked out the guys, man. Right? So this is a guy that wasn't, I guess he was injured. He took a lot of time off and came back refreshed. You know what I'm saying? It's like he has like a resurgent, you know what I'm saying? Like he's coming back to make a statement. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. And it seems like he's a more hungrier guy here. With Vera, sometimes he slows down and he tends not to do much, right? And again, Grant beat him the first time already. So if he can beat him the first time, that means he can beat him again, basically. And he knows how Vera fights. Vera has improved. I mean, don't get me wrong, but Grant also has improved too. You know, he took a rest, healed up some injuries, and you can tell, a 3-fight winning streak, right? So, again, the guys he fights maybe might not be at the caliber that Marlon Vera's fought, but still, he's finishing the guys then, right? So for this one here, man, I'm kind of liking Grant for this one. But again, this is a close fight. Like I said, Grant beat him the first time, which was way back in 2016, and Vera was like 23 years old or something like that. And, you know, Grant was like in his 30s, now he's like 35, but age is a number, and Grant's looking good. So I must say Grant, man. I must say Grant by decision. And the important thing in this fight too is Grant's movement. Chito Vera sometimes can get flat-footed. You know, the movement gives Chito Vera a problem because, like I said, if a guy is not doing too much and if a guy is moving in and out, popping shots, spinning back kick, moving around in a circle, and you're just winging punches but your leg's not moving, Grant's gonna move in, land shots, and move out. By the time you're trying to hit Grant, he's already on the outside. So that's what happened in the first fight. Grant can also look for takedowns, but the only thing about this fight is a submission. Vera may have a submission chance in this fight. Even a knockout too, because Grant can get knocked down. You know, he get flash knockout in this fight, right? But I'm going to go with Grant though. And I'm going to say Grant by decision, guys. Alright. Next fight here. We got Aleksei Oleinik versus Sergey Spivak. Oleinik here, man, you know what he's going to look for. He's looking for submission, man. This guy will have over 70-something fights. 76, 75 fights, man. And basically, what, 50 by submission? Majority of all his fights are by submission. So basically, if this guy grab a hold of you, just grab a hold of you and just can hold you for a little while, most likely he's gonna submit you, right? Most likely. He has 46 by submission. Been knocked out 9 times though. But man, this guy take a lot of freaking damage, but he keeps coming though, man. And he likes to dirty box. He likes to tie up with you, kind of like a Randy Couture, and dirty box you, and then slap on a submission on you, right? That's just basically it, man. He just want to submit you. So if Sergey Spivak doesn't move around, or if he ties up with this guy, I can see Oleinik submitting Spivak. It depends on the game plan. If Spivak stay on the outside and use his jab and move around without tying up, yeah. But if you watch Spivak fights, there's a lot of time where he gets tied up in the clinch, then he goes for throws and sweep. With this guy here, you don't want to throw and sweep him, because once you do that, he's going to get your back. And if he ever gets you on the ground, you're going to be in problems, man. You're going to be in problems with him. Spivak is a blue belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a well-rounded fighter. Like I said, he fights long, but at times, you know, he doesn't hold that range for too long. That range don't stay for too long with him, because he's not a quick fighter, right? You look for sweeps and throws. You look for takedowns, but he's not the quick fighter. And if you look at his fights, majority of the time he's in the clinch trying to throw and sweep. So I mean, against Oleinik, I don't know if that's a good. Actually, that's not a good idea. A guy with 50-odd submissions, and Oleinik is very, very experienced guy, man. You're dealing with an experienced guy, dude. 59 and 15 versus a 12 and 2. Yeah, I mean, with Oleinik, you know, he kind of up there in age, but age is a number. You can. It depends on who he's fighting, and depends on the opportunity that the other person gives him. If you're gonna tie up with him and try to sweep and throw him, he's gonna slap on a submission on you, and he does it all the time. That's what he does. It's like natural for him. It's like walking. So this is our next risky one here, man, because like I said, in Spivak fights, he does fight long. And he has a 78-inch reach, 6'3" height. I think Oleinik has an 80-inch. Yeah. So this is a fight where if Oleinik moves forward and Spivak doesn't move his leg quick enough and he ties up with him, you can see all type of submissions, man. You can see all type of submissions from this guy. you can see armbar. You can see Ezekiel choke, which is his favorite. Ezekiel choke, that's his favorite choke, man. He has a lot of those. A lot of Ezekiel chokes, man. So if Spivak doesn't move, like keep light on the feet and just use a jab and circle around, he could get submitted. Just the experience, man. I mean, this guy fight a lot of guys. Do not let the age fool you, man. Don't let the age fool you, man. Yeah, Chris Dacos. Yeah, because Chris Dacos is fast. And if you notice the fight with Chris Dacos, he was moving in and out quickly and pushing off. He was pushing off and avoiding the clinch. His main objective was to avoid and stay on the outside. He's a quick fighter. Spivak is not as quick as Chris. He's not as quick. Lewis is quick too. And Spivak is slow. He's a slow fighter that likes to tie up. Like I said, he will fight long range, but it doesn't last for too long. So if he stays in there with Oleinik and play that game, he could get submitted. So this is a risky fight, man. Very, very risky. I must say Sergey Spivak for the win, but not confident in this one. Like I said, a lot of these fights are straight up even, man. But I must say Spivak, man. I must say Spivak by KO TKO. But if Oleinik Ezekiel choke him, I won't be surprised, man. I will not be surprised. Or any kind of submission, I will not be surprised. So be careful with that one. Like I said, check out my Patreon account. I will be making different combination plays based on the face-off. So, and the weigh-ins, okay? Main fight here, we have Seung Jung, Korean Zombie, versus Dhiego. There's a reason why he's called a Korean Zombie, man. This guy he will walk you down, man, and he will push that pace on you, right? Heavy-handed, decent striking. He's very well-rounded and good takedown defense, right? He's very difficult to take this guy down, right? Ige is a BJJ black belt, and he's pretty well rounded too. But you see, with this fight here, when I look at Ige, like I said, all these fighters, they all deserve to be there, and you know, there's no negativity here. You know, all love for everybody here on this card. If you look at Ige though, Gavin Tucker, that was a fast knockout, and Gavin Tucker ran into that shot. You know, and anything is possible. You know, your head not meant to get hit. Anybody can get knocked out or submitted. That's just part of the game. If you see him against Calvin Cutter, though, he had a hard time with Calvin Cutter. Edson Barboza, I felt like he lost that fight, in my opinion. I felt Edson Barboza should have gotten the split or unanimous decision on that fight. That was a straight robbery. Against Beltic, he went to a split. Then Kevin Aguilera went to a decision. But if you look at the guys in that he's actually beaten, I mean, they're not... A lot of them are on 4-fight losing streak. Danny Henry, 2-fight. I mean... Yeah, I don't think those guys are on the caliber of a Korean Zombie at all. None, except for maybe Edson Barboza, which I feel Edson Barboza won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Aguilera is on a 4-fight losing streak. And just the striking from Ige, he has striking, but I just feel that the Korean Zombie is a better striker. And then he's going to try to push his takedowns, but Zombie going to defend that. So this is how I see this fight, man. I just feel that Korean Zombie is on a different level as far as the striking is concerned. And this overall game, the whole entire MMA game, you know. He can defend takedowns. I mean, yeah, he lost against Brian Ortega. But, I mean, Brian Ortega has faced some tougher competition, man. Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, Renato. Even the Clay Guidas, them. I mean, he has faced some tough guys, and Max Holloway put a beating on him. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I just feel like the Korean Zombie is just all around a better fighter here, man. He's just more experienced too. You know, Frankie Edgar, Dennis Maguire's Jose Aldo, Yair Rodriguez, he got caught in that last round with that spinning elbow. If Yair Rodriguez never caught him with that spinning elbow, Zombie would have won that fight. Ige is a fast fighter, but Yair is a quicker fighter. Alright? So, I just feel that, I don't know, there's levels to this game. And Dan Ige is a pretty good fighter. I mean, don't get me wrong. But he had a hard time with Calvin Cutter. Right? And Gavin Tucker is, I mean, he's a decent fighter too. But again, he hasn't really fought nobody. Right? Lost to Rick Glenn, Choi, Justin James, Billy Quarantino. I mean... So, I mean, for this one here, man, for the reasons what I just said there, I mean, I'm kind of liking the Korean Zombie. I just feel like he's going to be the more technical guy on the foot, striking, and also the power. And also the power. I'm not saying Ige can't win. He could come in here and then knock out the Korean Zombie. That's very, very possible. Because Korean Zombie has been knocked out a couple of times. So the person here who would most likely get knocked out possibly be the Korean Zombie. He can be knocked out three times, but again, all depends, man, on the person who is fighting. And like I said, with Ige, yeah, he's quick and he can land some shots, but I just feel like the Korean Zombie is just more, it's more seasoned on the foot, man. You know, he sees things differently, you know, and with Ige's going to come in there and try to land his shots, try to land the overhands and maybe the straight to the pocket. But I feel like the Korean Zombie is going to see all that. And next thing too is a 5-round fight. And we saw Ige in a 5-round fight with Cutter and it just didn't look too good. This is going to be his next 5-round fight. I believe this is his second 5-round fight he's going to have. Kevin Cutter, yes, 5-round. Yep. So I'm liking Korean Zombie for that, man. Again, no disrespect to these fighters. I'm just making my prediction, give my breakdowns. Again, I could be wrong. Ige could come in here and possibly even take down Korean Zombie. Probably even submit Korean Zombie. Probably even knock out Korean Zombie. Anything is possible. But what I see from videos and footages and just the movements, just that just based on the technique and how Zombie throws his punches, and just the technicality, is just it's hard to pick Ige. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then again the 5-round experience. So I like Korean Zombie, and I'm gonna say Korean Zombie by decision, guys. All right. Like I said, guys, leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel. I need those thumbs up, man. I need those subscription, guys. Also, sign up to my Patreon account, because over there I'm going to be leaving a lot more plays, a lot more predictions. And with this card here, you can believe it, that is going to be a lot of changes, which I'm going to leave on my Patreon account, right? A lot of work goes into this, guys. It's not something I'm just like coming on here and just making quick prediction and breakdowns. I watch every single video. I even watch interviews, workouts, everything about each one of these guys. So it's not easy. It's a difficult thing to predict and break down cards, man. It's difficult, and it takes a long time too. This is something that I don't rush. You can take me all 2-3 days just to finish finish the entire card. I could spend a day on one person. You know what I'm saying? So make sure to subscribe to the Patreon account, and I will leave some more predictions over there. And yeah, man, let's see what happened with this card. It's a very even card. Every single fight to me is even. Every single fight is even to me. Even the Dan Ige and the Korean Zombie. It's kind of, I would say Korean Zombie should have the edge, but it's still slightly even. I don't see any fight here that's like should be super high odds, in my opinion. All right? So I'm going to leave my predictions down below. And I'm going to leave my more confidence, which I don't really have any really. But I must see what I can do with that one. But I said check out my Patreon and subscribe to my channel. Keep on kicking. One love. Os.